Hey folks, it's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. It is Tuesday, August 16th, 2022. And with me today is Nicholas Sosiak, the Chief Financial Officer of Cannara Biotech Inc., who is no stranger to the show. Nick, great to have you back on the show.
Thank you for having me, Rod. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Pleasure's all mine, man. So before we get started, we got a new format today. We've got a live stream so everybody can tune in, they can chat. Anybody has any questions for Nick, just let us know in the live chat. But before we get started with some more detailed questions, how are things? What is it that's taking up most of your time at Cannara at the moment?
A lot of things, my man. We're executing from left, right, and center. Just completed our third quarter. Released it late July. August, our year end is coming up on August 31st, so we got to get that out. So we're trying to to end the year on a very good note. Opening distribution network just got listed in BC, so working on that. We got our vape launch coming, so just a bunch of products, a bunch of genetics. Just keep on building our brand, entering new markets.
That's awesome. Yeah, and there were some highlights there. So total revenue was 10.1 million, gross profit of 3.7 million, adjusted EBITDA amounted to 1.8 million. I think you had about 25 million so far for the year, right?
On a 12 months, we're on track for 30 million in a trailing 12 months, and that was there's probably 6 months in there of no Valleyfield sales. So we're just continuing pushing the envelope. Q3 was our first quarter of some revenues from Valleyfield, and Q4 will be another good quarter of Valleyfield, and we're just expanding. So it's just going to get better and better from here.
Absolutely. Well, it's been quite the journey. I enjoy watching you guys. It's quite the success story, and really looking forward to what you guys do in the future. But yeah, like I said, no stranger to the show. It feels like a while since it's December 14th, 2021. So it has been a while, I guess.
Wow, it's been 8 months. It feels like yesterday.
I know, right?
The industry moves fast.
Yeah, you're not really a small company anymore. You almost had 100 million market cap. So pretty phenomenal, the growth that you're seeing. And like I say, only 6 of 24 growing zones operationalized. So, the sky's the limit, right?
That's it. And that's just phase 1. There's a phase 2 opportunity on the same site. So a lot of organic. That was really what we focused on here at Cannara, making sure that we owned the vertical. Everything was controlled by us. We didn't rely on other partners to produce our cannabis. So, securing those assets and making sure that, we can control them, we can produce the quality that we're used to out of them. That was number 1. So yeah, it's really a big journey, and now it's heads down and just keep on doing what we're doing.
Execute, right? Yeah. And you guys have this new partnership, exciting brand partnership with Exotic Genetics. So congratulations on that, first and foremost.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very excited for that one too.
Oh yeah, I don't know them actually. I never heard of them before. I heard of like Ethos Genetics and Colin over there, but I don't know Mike or the folks over there, but excited to see what comes of it. I do have some questions around that as well, but you can see here the Valleyfield facility, absolutely massive. So that came from the Green Organic Dutchman sale, right? So really exciting, all good stuff.
Thank you, Rod.
So we'll get into some questions here. The chat's going absolutely crazy. So welcome everybody. Thanks for joining the live stream. We'll get into the chats toward the end. And if you do have any questions for Nick, make sure to put them in the chat. I did collect some questions from the community as well, as best as I could. And a lot of people couldn't be with us today. So I wanted to make sure that we got that covered up.
Awesome. It'd be my pleasure to answer any and all questions.
Absolutely.
As much as I can.
Sounds good. Any plans or timelines for Western Canada distribution? I know you got the approval in July 20 this year. Just
got approval in July, saying that we got listed. Just got our POs in August, so we're delivering 7 SKUs. It's going to be Gelato mint and Cuban Links pre-rolls, CBD runs, as well as some fresh frozen hash rosin. So we're excited to launch into BC and just continuously bring in all our product SKUs that we have to BC. It's just growing. It's a bit of a juggle because we have production capacity. Everything that we produce, we currently sell. We're currently not catering to anywhere near our current demand for in Quebec alone, in Ontario. So by spreading our wings into other provinces, it's to establish our first markets, but we really need to start continuing our execution story on producing so that we can continuously be on the shelves in each of our provinces.
Yeah, well, I'm most excited about Alberta. So if you can let me know when that's coming,
that's next in the pipeline. We're just waiting for the green light, which is very close. So we'll be in Alberta shortly.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I live here in Edmonton now, and this is home now. So I recently bought another condo and started an Airbnb. So I'll be here for the foreseeable future. So can't wait to start supporting the cause. And yeah, there's not too many companies that I get excited about buying their products and, feeling like a kid on Christmas, so to speak. And that was always the feeling that I got whenever I opened one of your guys' cans or whatever the product was, right?
That's awesome.
You mentioned it already a little bit, but you got some new products since we last talked, obviously. So that's exciting. So vapes aren't available yet, right? They're coming.
Well, they're available, and I see one of our viewers, Blackpool, actually tried our vape cart and our battery that just launched. This is really, really close to my heart. A lot of R&D pre-Cannara built into this. A lot of personal experience built into this. I set an objective for myself. I'm a vape cart user, dabber as well, so I'm very close to these products, and I really wanted to create something that was just never seen before, both legacy and legal. Keep in tune with the quality that Cannara is used to, and just make sure that we deliver the best thing that we can. Everything that we do, just like the objective is deliver as best as we can, put everything that we have into it. So that's what we did with this vape cart, down to, it took me almost 6 months to choose which vape cart, the hardware I wanted, trial and error, figuring it out, finally found the right supplier for it, and then working on the oil, finding, building a $2 million BHO lab internally so that we can control the process, we can blast it, we can run the coldest in the country, control the turfs, plus we grow the cannabis ourselves, so we can cut it at harvest, fresh frozen it less than, after the moment it gets harvested, and then blast it in the coldest in the country. So I think that's what leads to, the quality of what we're going to be putting in our vape carts. We're going to continue tribals. Every genetic under tribal is going to get that. A live resin vape cart is going to get a live resin FSE dappable product as well. So, when you come to tribal, if you like power sherb or you like purple, you'll be able to get in dried flower, pre-rolls, live resin vape carts, and live resin FSE, and priced. Our vape cart is priced at $49.99. The battery we just released is a collaboration with Yocan. It's the Uni Pro. From far as where in Canada, there's no new version, which is the 2.0. So it comes in a full metal zinc alloy bottle. So when you body, so when you hold it, it has weight. It feels durable, which was one of the problems with the current Yocan. It felt cheap in your hand. So we made sure that that the quality durability of it, it's hands down one of the best batteries I've ever used. I've been using it for 5-6 years. So I was gung ho to bring this collab. Plus it's USB-C and for $39.99, which I think the plastic one goes for the same price, right? So that's just to give accessibility and just continue our mission of bringing the best products at the best prices. I mean, that's our mission from day one, and we'll keep doing that. That's what got us excited. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to try them all. And you guys got, like you said, new resin, right? Obviously, the pre-rolls are a big hit. I know that according to Alex Voyer over at Weed Crawler, Analyse Cannabis, I'm actually going to be, I did an interview with him before, and I'm going to be interviewing again in a couple of weeks. There's going to be some new drops at the SQDC as well. Société Québécoise de Cannabis au Quebec. And any other products that you have in the works that are coming?
So I mean, other than the vapes and the resins under tribal, I mean, always tribal. Hopefully you noticed by now, but it's just going to be pheno hunting, finding the new genetics. That's partly reason why we did the understanding genetics. 5 of our 7 current genetics across our brands are exotic genetics, so they've been really working for us, and it's really to dive deeper into those genetics, find new ones, bring them under tribal. Orchid, we're launching tinctures in Quebec, so oil, CBD, and THC formulations 2-to-1, 1-to-2, a 750 mg and a 2,500 mg at really good prices for Orchid. And then under Nugs, it's just being playful and keep launching different SKUs. There's a Strain Hunter SKU coming to Quebec. Strain Hunter is going to allow us to allow consumers to test our pheno hunts. So it might not be, it's going to be an experiential experience for consumers. We're going to make sure that we only put phenos that didn't make the cut, but I mean, we're very close to making the cut, so it's still a very enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
Then we have Smalls coming to Ontario, which is under Nugs. That's going to house every single genetic under Cannara. So under Nugs Smalls, people will have access to Gelato Mint, Cuban Links, Power Sherb, at better pricing, 14-gram big bags, but at the size, at the cost of the size of the bud. We're launching blunts under Nugs. We're launching different formulations of old school hash, different formulations of ice water hash for BC, for Toronto. Keep innovating our fresh frozen with new flavors. Turple has been seeming to take over the market, and people really liking it. We tried Power Sherb out. Eventually, we're going to have some Cuban Links rosin, and just keep on introducing new genetics in that product format.
Well, what you're doing is working. Obviously, it's really resonating with consumers, and brought up I actually shared it on the screen here. You can see Tribal Gelato Mint online, #1 for the 3.5 gram format. And your guys' pre-rolls are always at the top of the list as well for Gelato Mint. So love to see it. Full disclosure, I am a holder of LOVE, LOVE on the TSX Venture, or LOVFF on the OTC. For viewers listening in, looks like there's a lot of investors on the call on the stream. So exciting to see. And like I said, seeing those numbers, always a good sign. Tribal Gelato Mint here also is #1 in terms of between $25 to $30. And like you say, amazing products, amazing quality, really resonating with consumers, and at an attractive price point too, right?
Absolutely.
Bringing up a few things here on the OCS. So I can't wait till we can see some vapes on there. Obviously, come to BC, the amount of growth potential here just from, within Canada is staggering, right? And Alberta's a huge market, BC's a huge market. So really excited for next year.
Tying to your question, I think about the OCS problems. I mean, I think today we would have actually saw our vape carts on the website, but because of the delays to the OCS, they pushed out all orders that were supposed to be released on August 16th are getting pushed to September. You have to look at the date, but sometime mid-September. So we all got pushed out by a month. So unfortunately, you won't see them on the OCS until mid-September. But for all medical patients, we do offer them on mendocannabis.ca.
Okay, cool. What was that?
Mendo, MENDO, cannabis.ca.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure everybody heard that correctly so they can check it out. So yeah, you can see everybody tuning in. The Ontario Cannabis Store is currently unable to fulfill or deliver orders. Customers placing orders on OCS.ca should expect significant delivery delays, and that comes after OCS capping pot shop orders and changing delivery window after their partners suffered a cyber attack. So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but are you expecting any disruptions or any sales?
Yeah, so I think they from in communications, I think they've solved the problem, and it's just now just pushing out orders.
So we're still, so to speak.
Yeah, so I mean, other than our vape carts, because it only affects also new launches. For the past 2 weeks, they were it affected actual delivery points, but now I believe it's only affecting new product launches, and they're scrambling to deliver existing products. So that shouldn't affect us too much. And the only real product that was our 3 products actually was our live resin vape carts, Power Sherb, and Turple, which will all get pushed to mid-September.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So. Moving on to the next one. This one came from the community, and I think I already know the answer to this question based on the demand for the product. But essentially, there were some people were wondering, do you plan to introduce an ounce format for the tribal products? And if yes, do you have a timeline for that approximately?
If I can produce as much cannabis in the world as possible, yes, we would. But because I mean, we're barely trying to fill in product demands, and we're launching new products and creating new products and opening new distribution networks. So it wouldn't be fair to consumers if I launched an ounce tribal, because they would get one bag a month. So what we're doing is focusing. The first ounce bags will be under nugs. So right now we have in Quebec, we have ounce bags. So naturally, Ontario will get those ounce bags. BC, Alberta will get those ounce bags. We're gonna consumers will be able to try all our tribal genetics in 14 gram bags in the smalls under nugs. So that should hopefully hold everyone over till we execute our strategy. We produce a lot of cannabis, and we're able to introduce bulk formats across all our different product lines.
Right. Yeah. Well, I definitely knew the answer to that one. So yeah.
Yeah, one important thing for us is like, we don't buy other people's cannabis. We don't, anything that we package is grown by us. Even if we're out of stock, we're leaving money on the table. It's fine. We care about our products. We want that to be, we're here for the long term. So making sure that anything that's in our bags is from us is really important.
For sure. We'll move along a little quicker here. Have you noticed any changes in buying patterns from consumers due to, the rise in inflation, the recession potentially? Some say we're in a recession. I think we are. But, the U.S. government likes to create new definitions on the fly. But that's either here nor there. But has the business noticed any meaningful impact with regards to, inflation, either good? Has it been good or bad? But I could make the argument that it might be good, because your prices are pretty well priced anyways. And, it's not like it's, an arm and a leg to buy, and you can't really buy the ounce format right now. But, once you have the ounce format, that'll save you get some bulk savings. But what is your experience, or what have you noticed so far with regards to inflation and consumer patterns?
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely agree that we're heading in the same direction as you stated. I think that, like you just said, our products, our strategy of pricing our products in the value segment, competitively priced, but focus on that high value proposition, kind of immunizes us from price compression. And I find it, it's beneficial, I think, for us, because it doesn't affect us. It doesn't hurt our gross margin. It just hurts other competitors that are pricing their products higher, brings down, it realigns, the products, and then it forces them to compete at losses, and then they won't be able to sustain it, and then it just reduces the shelf space to allow for more shelf space for our products.
Totally. And have you noticed any significant, been any changes in your opinion in the last 6 months? But has there been any changing in what has surprised you the most? I guess, has there been a category or format that's sold or didn't sell as much as you would expect? Is there anything that really stood out?
No, everything's been pretty aligned with my thought process. I mean, why we priced our our cannabis and all our products in the value price, because we knew the demand was there's a significant difference in demand in that pricing category, right? And if we were a volume play and scale play, we needed to make sure that we were able to we have to take off the ability to sell as a challenge, right? So by focusing on the price, we carve that out, and I think that's just gonna help us get through this period of time, and then just continue building our products. I don't see, I knew beverages and edibles won't be a big category till they change the regulations. That's why Cannara hasn't invested a single dollar in that category. We knew dried flower will always reign supreme, and it always starts with the genetics. You can't be a cannabis company and call yourself a CPG company if you're not controlling the genetics and the quality and all the features that go behind it. So you need to start with the genetics, then you focus on dried flower, then you focus on pre-rolls, which is the second biggest category. Then you build out your live resins, your resins. You don't go into distillate. It's just a race to the bottom. You go into resins and resins and rosins, and then eventually, as the market opens up, you have beverages and edibles to play in.
Totally. Cool. Thanks for that. And do you have a ballpark figure? Any idea what Cannara's market share is in Quebec as of today?
Yeah, in Quebec, we're about, it's because it depends on every week it shifts because we're shifting different volumes to one place to one place and another. We're probably about 6%, 7% of the overall dried flower market. If you look at just on 3.5s, it's about 6%. On 28 grams, we're about 17 to 20%. Hash, we're about 15% of the total market. Pre-rolls about 10% of the total market.
Okay,
And
cool.
and then we're not satisfying anywhere near the demand for our weekly demand for our products.
Yeah, totally. All right, moving on. So in terms of kilograms, this is another question that the community had. In terms of kilograms, any idea how many you've sold of those year to date? I know you said you're on track for like 30 million for a 12 months run rate, but any idea how many kilos?
It was 30 million trailing 12 months, so we'll end the year more than that. But I think it's in my investor deck. If you go down, you're actually on it. It's about we sold in the last quarter about 2,700 kilos of cannabis, up from about 1,500 kilos of cannabis. Yeah, we're on track to end the year about 10,700 kilos, and then by next year 20,000 kilos.
Okay, cool. Perfect. And Cannara recorded 10.1 million for the last quarter, currently 6 of 24 growing zones, operational at Valleyfield facility. Does Cannara have any expectations on how many grow zones will be operational by, say, this time next year?
Yeah, so in that 20,000, so just to give a bit of clarity of how Valleyfield works, it's 24 rooms. There's 12 what we call on the west side and 12 on the east side. Because it's not as easy as, if we were to grow in a regular hybrid greenhouse and utilize the sun, it would be pretty easy to just start up every room, right? But because we actually invest a significant amount of capex to redesign the rooms, which is installing additional HVAC, doubling the amount of LED lights that we have, blacking out the glass, installing curtains, the fans, really getting it to indoor conditions like we have in Farnham, like our Cannara SOP for indoor growing. It requires a significant amount of money in each room and time in each room, about a month and a half to turn on each room. And then you got to make sure, we have an asset that we acquired, so we got to make sure that everything is running properly the way it was built, and sometimes there's modifications and all that. So Cannara, number one thing is quality and not to grow too fast, right? Because can we turn on 24 rooms tomorrow and start growing cannabis? Absolutely. And try to take over the market? Absolutely. But will we have problems? Absolutely. So we have to do it in a slow, methodical approach. We work in quarters, or we're working at least in quarters right now. So we did the first 6 rooms on the left side. So if you're looking at we're on the opposite side, but so on the right hand side of that picture is where we turned on the far right. Yeah, exactly. At the top right is where we turned on the first 6 rooms, exactly all there. And then and that's 6 rooms, 25,000 square feet. That's 25,000 square feet each. 10,000 plants in each room, and we can do 4 to potentially 5 harvests per year, plus all the biomass and all that. And we're testing new genetics. We're transferring all the new genetics that we have and pheno hunting new genetics. So that's just a process in itself to learn each new genetic in a new facility. So we rather do it in a slow and methodical approach. At 6 rooms on our last quarter, which we were turning 4 rooms, and we didn't have anywhere near the fruits of the labor of all the 6 rooms. We're already EBITDA positive, cash flow positive if you back out the amount of cash that I invested in inventory, which was sold the last month because we don't have inventory issues. That's really, that's the plan. So 6 rooms was for August 2022. For August 2023, and that 20,000 kilos is about another 3 to 6 rooms that we're going to build. So by end of next year, August, the full west side will be activated.
That's awesome. What a color.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be fully activated, and then going forward, we'll be on a streamlined approach. on the west side, on the east side of the facility, turning on the 12 rooms methodology, which we'll communicate as we get through 2023.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Thanks for that. And this is something that a lot of people ask me a lot, but again, I think I know the answer. But any idea when we could expect Cannara to potentially uplist to a major exchange, either from the venture to TSX or potentially a US exchange? And would Cannara ever entertain the idea of a reverse split to potentially accomplish that?
Yeah, so one thing I think was clear is we did a first raise at initial 10 cents, and then we did when we went public at 18 cents, and any subsequent financing, even when the markets were crazy and both up and down, we stood to our initial valuation of the 18 cents. We bought $30 million for our value-filled asset, at the same valuation, until and we're fighting a market that's been, call it, lack of a better term, hurt and stomped on and lied to, right? So to uplist to a new market right now, and when investor confidence is at its all-time lowest, is probably not the best thing. We have a true execution plan to do. We just closed a deal with BMO for $50 million, so we're well capitalized, we're cash flow positive.
Extra
so rushing
10 million too, right? I think.
Yeah, with an accordion, and they're truly vested in the cannabis sector, so they're looking for partners that are going to succeed. And for us, that's we don't want to try to going into the NASDAQ. There's a lot of cost involved. There's a lot of it adds a huge burden to both my time and the cost of the company and cost of shareholders, right? So if there's no the real goal right now is to get through this industry weed out industry period, right? We've been in a bear market, weed out the current, let's call it the first waves and the second waves, to really find out who the true players are. That's going to restore market confidence and back into the sector. I mean, we're not a sector that's going away, right? We're on track for 4 or 5 billion, and it's growing everywhere. The Quebec only has 80 stores. Vape carts are not allowed. There's still a huge amount of potential in this market, right? So we're not going. This is kind of just, this is the storm, the dust after the storm, right? So it's time to look at which companies are going to succeed. There's going to be just a handful, like we've always said, and it's choosing those the new wave that's going to make it. And I think that just needs a little bit of time, and it's perfect time for us to sit down and execute. And when we're ready, that's absolutely on our radar, to realign, get everything readjusted, and go forward into kind of the chapter 2 of Cannara's story, whatever chapter we're on.
Yeah, exactly. And like you say, you got a lot of priorities right now. Investor sentiment's at an all-time low. So share prices, I mean, your stock's actually not doing too bad, all things considered. If you take a look at the average, most are down 80 to 90%. And Cannara, from the highs of February 2021, you're only down essentially about 48, 50%. So holding up relatively well compared to peers. And like I said, close to that 100 million market cap, really come a long way in the last year, for sure. Moving on, what can you tell us about the new deal with Exotic Genetics? What are you most excited about with that partnership, brand partnership?
Yeah, so I mean, it's really exciting. It's just getting that knowledge, that expertise, that connection with Exotic Mike, who's the breeder of like all the exotic genetic seeds that are and genetic strains, cannabis strains. Through our research, through our actual commercialization of products, 5 out of the 7 genetics that we currently have are exotic genetics. We've tested and pheno-hunted a mass array of genetics from other breeders, and time and time again, exotic genetics strains just kept working with our facility, and Gelato Mint's a staple. We have our new slaps. We have CBD runs, which is one of my favorite, but really good market feedback in
Power
CBD.
Right?
Power Sherb is from them. So, and we have a new one releasing Galactic Runs, which is from Exotic. So giving that, really tying that direct tie to the breeder to understand how to improve each genetic, how to make sure the yields, how to really dial it in and just improve each genetic, get insight into new genetics. And then just having the brand Exotic Genetics, which will eventually be a brand for Cannara and our house of brands. As the only problem is, I just can't produce enough, right? So I can't introduce. I have to go into other provinces, and now I'm bringing a new brand, right? So maybe it's still in the works, but as we grow, that we definitely have insight to use Exotic Genetics as a brand to help maybe on a more small scale, small grade, maybe using Farnham, the smaller rooms, the exclusive genetics, small batch, a bit more care, love to the cannabis, and just create something different for that brand. So that's definitely in the plans. But most of all is just getting ties to understand the actual strains, because we truly believe that we're unlike most CBG industries where we're all our products, all our marketing, everything that we need to deliver in all product formats stems from the genetic itself, and consumers want always new genetics, right? We're always exploring. Even if you find me the best genetic, for some reason we're just in tune to find the next best one, and we always know that there's something better out there. So with that in mind, we always have to keep that goal of finding the best of the best.
Totally cool. And another question we had from the community: what are the conditions with that deal and partnership? Is there any that kind of guarantees your exclusivity? Is there any kind of share-based compensation or a percentage of sales?
No.
So is that partnership a potential segue into the USA in the future as well? Is there any thought behind that?
Again, we're I know in most companies we're supposed to pick 5 years ahead and 10 years ahead, and we have the vision, but in cannabis and the sector, the speculative sector, opportunities just fly left and right and center that you couldn't even fathom to imagine today, right? So we have a 2-year strategy of executing Valleyfield, bringing exotics brands and the merchandise and products, and building our tribal brands and Nugs and Orchid, and dominating Canada, being really the brand for Canada. That hopefully will align with federal legalization, allow us to pivot and open new markets, utilize a U.S. brand that's already been established, and just grow from there. So it's definitely in the part of the overall concept of why we did the deal.
Gotcha. And retail investors have been wondering as well, with regards to the 500,000 options that were granted at 10 cents. What is Cannara doing to bring back investor sentiment? Is it a share buyback an option, or is it basically just a waiting game for the sector to reverse at this point?
I think that they're referring to as an exercise of shares. So it wasn't a grant to shares. It was a grant, maybe a grant that was done in 3 years ago, and it was just an exercise of shares before they were going to expire. So it was for an ex-employee. So I don't think that's had nothing to do with any market conditions. It's something the company just had to do. What are we doing to, definitely there's all those strategies in our cards. But we have to make sure that we use our cash where cash is limited in an industry, both, through your operations and financing and equity markets. We need to make sure that we have enough cash to execute our growth plans, right? So that's the number one factor before, like, we're here for a long term. It's not, I can get the stock up to 18 cents, but then it's what's next, right? So I'd rather build and just have really what the true value, and then the stock will follow, and people will recognize. So that's really the play. All those options are there. We're looking at them. They're in our playbook. It's just the timing is not right now.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. A share price is not indicative of a company's value, right? And it's not Cannara that's struggling with a share. It would be different if it was just your share price. But I mean, like I said, I showed you earlier that your share price is actually holding up a lot better compared to some of the other leaders in the space that are down, 90+%, right? Since the peak of that bull run back in February 2021. So yeah, I think it's to answer those retail investors who are asking that. I think it's more of a waiting game until the U.S. we get potential safe banking. I think that's something that we could potentially look forward to into the fall, and then maybe descheduling, but I think that'll come after. But essentially, the sector is due for a reversal soon, and then once the sector reverses, then Cannara share price would reverse as well, and I think it will rebound big time. Also, regarding Bristol Capital, the new investor relations company you hired, some questions from the community as well. Who are they, why them, and what are they bringing to the table for Cannara?
Yeah, they're a local Montreal company, highly referenced through contacts of mine, board of directors. Traditional, grassroots. Like they haven't. Why I chose them is because they haven't played significantly in the cannabis space, and we're kind of altered or affected by what happened, because that whatever happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago was not real, and was both everyone took advantage of everyone, and it just I needed to deploy something that's just traditional and build from there, because these big IR strategies where you blitz and at this point in time won't work, right? So it's just, we have an execution story, and I think that an execution story can be told through the normal channels of investor relations and contacts, and I chose Bristol because they were highly recommended, and I think they have the team to help me get the message across to investors that to start looking at us.
Yeah, sometimes it's easier to just kind of outsource that stuff than deal with it in-house, right?
Well, I mean, one big thing is contacts, right? So you always, you have a limit. We all have limited amounts of contacts for investors, so you always have to find new pools of investors, and that's one pool that we'll tell our story to, and then there's eventually another pool and another pool and another pool and another pool, and from that pool, people come.
And can you touch on the new recruits at Cannara and your team, and what are their roles? Has there been any significant additions to the team?
We're a very lean team. We're 200 to 250 employees, but like the core team, our executive team, which is myself, our CEO Zohar Krivorot, and our CTO Abby Krivorot. And then under us we have 5 to 6, 7 VPs in each respective department, overseeing finance, supply chain, marketing, legal, HR, and then under them they have managers. And as we bring in new products, new formulations, the BHO is a new project, we had to hire a director of transformation, we have to hire a BHO specialist, we have to hire a bunch of other people under our teams, and that's really how we've built our structure.
Okay, cool, thank you. Moving on, what accomplishment are you most proud of at Cannara in the past year since we last talked?
Personally, just getting my vision and my dreams, and I've always dreamed of running a cannabis company, building my brands, building cannabis, finding genetics, getting genetics to consumers, seeing their feedback. That's what drives me personally. I'm all in, I'm passionate. I work 24 hours a day on this, but I dream about these products, and that's the next day they get created. So it's just that's what I'm really proud about, is just being able to finally just get that and do it, and then just see the love and the market feedback of our products, that people are enjoying. What we're creating is what makes me want to work on the next project and the next project and the next project, and bring new. I'm just that kind of person. I always look for the best of the best. I am a perfectionist, so
yep.
Just seeing some a mass amount of people just enjoy your products and enjoy your work is truly rewarding.
Absolutely, yeah. It's I've been up since 4:45 this morning, and I'm still going, and it's easy to get up and be excited and work extra hours or put in those extra hours of work, and it doesn't really feel like work when you're that passionate. And I can tell you're a very passionate individual, and it's exciting, and it's motivating me as well. So
awesome.
Keep up.
But that battery in the vape cart is probably my biggest accomplishment right now.
Good pricing too. Wow. And then more generically speaking, in terms of the current cannabis sector landscape, do you think we're nearing an end to this brutal 18-month bear market that we've been seeing? Do you think there's some light at the end of the tunnel?
If I can read the future, I would give you the answer, but I think there's just still some more time to, especially with overall market conditions, and there's just some more time to let the industry kind of figure it itself out.
Yeah.
but I think it's also a good opportunity to really, now I find that the information is getting clearer, strategies are becoming clear, investors can formulate, figure out what's the next steps. And before it was harder, right? Everything was rainbows and butterflies and hopes and promises. So I think now is a good time to start looking, and it just depends on how many investors start looking, which given the overall sentiment of the economy, I think that's what's gonna just permit. If we didn't have that overall economy thing, then I'd say maybe 18 months we're gonna get looking at it, but it's still gonna take some time, I think.
For sure. And there's so much growth. Like MJ is coming up 4 years in Canada, being fully legalized. It's still a baby. If you look at the any other industry, whether it be tech or cryptocurrency, it took a lot longer than 4 years for things to really flourish and get their legs underneath them. And then you look at just Canada alone, right? You guys have so much expansion there, but not only from a Cannara perspective, it's more the regulatory oversight as well, right? There's so much limitations. You can't allow vapes yet in Quebec. They're finally starting to allow edibles. There's tons of other, just what drink limits, 5 drinks it can buy at max at a time, 30 grams on an order, right? All these things we haven't seen, groceries or convenience stores start to offer products yet, which will probably happen, restaurants, concerts, venues, events, all that stuff, right? So they're talking about even allowing it on radio stations and television commercials, that type of thing. So there's so much. Just wait till the Super Bowl ad, Cannara on the Super Bowl.
That makes me happy. That makes me happy. Hopefully one day.
Who knows? Maybe Pow Group will be right there with you one day. Any thoughts on the bills going through the U.S. government at the moment? The Congress, either like the MORE Act or the Cannabis Administration Opportunity Act?
So I followed it too many times and pumped myself too many times to be like, oh, it's gonna go. And so what? I'll wait until the news to tell me that it's time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm thinking we're gonna get safe banking. They said that they said they need to do something for the people before the midterms, but they're going to pass safe banking. It's like, okay, so the JP Morgans and the Goldman Sachs and the Morgan Stanleys can get in before the rest of the world, and it's for the people, right? Not the banks, though.
Right.
To make sure there was no confusion there. But no, I do think that we could see safe banking potentially into the fall, and then we've got. I don't want to get political. I really don't. I just want what's best for MJ. And I've actually got another interview coming up with Normal. His name's Morgan Fox. He's the political director there, and they're a lobbying company. He's based out of Washington, D.C., so he's in there all the time. So it's going to be interesting to get him on next week, actually, a week from today, same time, and see what he thinks in terms of likelihood of these bills passing. But we'll keep everybody posted on that. But like I said, I do think that we could see safe banking pass, and then potential for descheduling, and then I think full-blown legalization would come after that. But it's exciting. Anything else Cannara has in the works as we wrap up, or any other parting comments for Cannara investors listening in?
No, I think we shared a lot about what we're doing. I think Valleyfield is something to. It's hard to look at a picture like this and say like what we're really doing. When you see the facility for your own eyes, you see the people, you see our employees, you see the product. Our goal is to make an operation work like a Swiss clock. I believe we're the first company in the world to use a hybrid greenhouse, a 1 million size hybrid greenhouse as an indoor facility and grow premium grade cannabis at scale. Yep. So it's really just continuing and focusing on that. Just keep doing what we're doing. We have immense amounts of positive feedback. There's from right now, I don't see any reason to pivot or change. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to keep on trucking over here.
Yeah, head down, pedal to the metal. Well, we'll end it there. Before we look at the chat here, we'll try to keep it as short as possible. I won't have time to go over every comment, just so everybody, so your feelings aren't hurt. But one last thing I wanted to mention is that you guys will be conducting, and I think you're presenting it, right, the investor webcast presentation on August 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, tomorrow. So I'll be going over our investor deck, which is posted on our website, and just going over the detail of Cannara. So it's more for new investors that don't know the story. Kind of share the story, go over our products, get them the plans that we shared today.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go to the comments here. I'll drop that webcast link in the comments for everybody as well. I just shared that, so you'll have that. But yeah, I forgot that was tomorrow. The days are getting away from me, it seems, these days. So yeah, I'll be tuning into that one more than likely. Looking forward to it. We'll just look through the comments here. But thanks everybody for joining the stream. A lot of fun today. Got one here. So will Cannara continue to open a room per month in Valleyfield? I think we've already covered that, but did you want to take that one, Nick?
Yeah, sure. I mean, definitely that's probably the maximum speed that we can go. You can eventually, probably grow more, operate more rooms at once per month, or activate them. But I think, that's probably what our target is going to be until we get up to the 24 rooms, because, it's not just, if we had one genetic, one product, we mastered it and it's just copy pasting it 24 times, then it's easy. But every room that opens is a new, we want to test new genetics, we want to get creative, we want to do something else. So we think it's the methodological approach is better. So like I said, in 2023 it'll be more like one room every 2 months, and then going into 2023 to 2024, I mean, that depends on the success of our 12 rooms, but assuming that it's the same as our 6 rooms, that's probably then going to go dial into more of a one room per month for the rest of 2023 to 2024.
Cool. It looks like we had another one here with regards to opening of new rooms. So I think we know where everybody's head's at. But yeah, that's the great thing about it, right? Is that there's so much potential. So lots to look forward to. I'm just gonna.
We're definitely looking for great people and people that want to help us open new rooms. But it's a huge task to get 10,000 plants into each room, monitor them over 3 months. Just the hang dry. Like, we don't rush the process. And now you have to hang dry it. We hand trim those 10,000 plants. So every room that we add is 10,000 more plants, more trimmers, more packaging machines. So it's just not just opening more rooms. You have to think of the post-harvest process, which is what a lot of LPs fail to do, right? Is figure out the post-harvest process. I can open, 100,000, 1 million square feet, but then how do I process that cannabis? If you have that, then you have to hire your trimmers. So if you can't find the people and it's you're out of harvest and you have to run with it, then you have to do wet trimming. That degrades the quality. Then, to put 10,000 plants hang drying, you need room for that. We have 3,000 square foot rooms just for hang drying one room, 10,000. So that means I need 24 3,000 square foot rooms to dry, to continue my drying process. So that we have to build out, right? Because Farnham is already producing fully utilized. So now we have to build out more drying rooms, which is going to be built in Valleyfield as well. But there's a whole, Swiss clock operations that you have to build, and it's not as simple as just,
I always say there's always way more under the hood than what meets the surface and what meets the eye, right? So we got Blackpool 420 in the house. Welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Hey, Blackpool.
Yeah, big fan. So make sure you go subscribe to his channel as well. Looks like we have a question for me. I didn't expect that, but hello, Rod. I was wondering if Cannara would ever consider some type of like other LPs possibly go international and states beyond. Yeah, so I think we covered that one. Claudio, thank you for your question. We've got MH saying loving the format. Thank you. Thanks for joining the stream and you're providing your feedback. I appreciate it. We've got someone needing the power sherb in their lungs. Touch of love cannabis. Thanks for your comment.
I think that's in Ontario, so that's unfortunately, guys. It's the 1 month delay. Not my fault. Don't shoot the messenger. I try my best, but it's gonna hit shores in September. So mid-September. Vape Carts, Power Sherb, Turple.
You bet. See, move on here. Trying the new cart. Great job, Nico. And battery is awesome also. There you go.
Thank you for that. Looking for all the feedback you can send me. Follow me on Instagram, Nico Dank, and give me all the feedback you want on the battery, on the vapes. if anything to improve, let me know. I'm gonna work on it because I want this to be the best vape and battery combination in Canada, like just down to the casing. I mean, I had vape carts all over my pockets. I had those metal with the Yokan, you need those metal adapters, magnetic adapters. So, you're fumbling around, they're in your pocket. So, even down to the vape case, when you open it, I made sure that you can open it with one hand so that you can have your other hand free to pull out whatever you need. So we'll open it with one hand, spring action. Then in the vape case, you have 3 placements for 3 vape carts. That's so you don't have them all in your pocket, you're fumbling, or you're on the road and you only have one flavor, or you run out, right? So now in the vape case that you buy for the same, just that comes with the cart, you would have room for 3 carts. When you buy it, it'll come with 1 cart, and then as we release new flavors, you can put your, Turple for the morning, you have your Cuban Links or Gelato Mint for the evening, however you like to mix and combine, and already attach those magnetic adapters. I think I have one here, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, so you just flip it like that, and that would be the vape cart, and then you have the extra piece right here is the vape battery holder. So you can pre-install when you buy the battery. Also, it comes with 3 magnetic adapters, which usually any Yokan will come with 1. So when you buy the battery, you get the 3 adapters so that you can eventually, when you have 3 carts, either Gelato Mint or any of our flavors, you can have them on the go, and then you can just plop it in there, and then you have the battery that just has the magnetic adapter, and you just plop it in like that, and you're good to go. So that's something that just the thought process, the whole experience, it took a long time to just figure out what is the best process for the battery, the cart, the whole experience, and that's what we hopefully accomplished. So definitely looking for all the feedback you can give me. Let us know if we did a good job, and if there's anything to improve, we'll definitely work on it.
Absolutely. Is there any plans to run that Cuban Links for the hash rosin?
You guys are smoking too much of it. Honestly, I can't the Cuban Links. I just changed their schedule to produce like double the amount of it now. But again, even if you do that, it's like 3 months. But we have to wait 3 months before you get that production. So you have to, I didn't expect Cuban Links to be selling like crazy. So we're gonna up production. Unfortunately, we came up with our live resin vape carts and our live resin FSC for Cuban Links. So definitely that's going to get BHO blasted into carts and live resin FSC, which in my opinion is just as great as the rosin. And then as we have additional capacity, definitely fresh frozen hash rosin will get Cuban Links, Power Sherb. We like to be flexible with that fresh frozen hash rosin.
We've got somebody waiting for their delivery today. Yeah, you might be waiting a while with if you order from, was that OCS? So we had a question here from Claudio with regards to uplisting to NASDAQ. So we went over that already. Another one from Black Bull here. Awesome job, man. Just the card case is amazing. Keeper.
Thank you, Black Bull.
Cuban Links cart and what's that? FFHR would be awesome.
Fresh frozen hash rosin. That's the hash rosin. So that's kind of what we just explained. But the cart will be definitely coming. So the cart and the FSC deppable product. That old
school hash looks kind of yummy. Gonna have to try it out. Absolutely.
Yeah, old school hash. So in Quebec, we have one formulation, 3 grams, 30% THC, because we can't go over 10% CBD. So we make sure it's 40% cannabinoids. And then in OCS, they got the full THC old school hash, 2 grams. And usually it's one genetic. So sometimes it's dropping as Gelato Mint. I think we launched with Cuban Links old school hash. So that was pretty fire. Yeah, we're excited. We're getting some ice water hash THC formulation to both BC and Ontario. So that's exciting too.
Yep, got a lot of excited people. Mendo hype, you bet. Let's see here.
Yeah, Mendo is our medical partner for anyone that has a medical prescription can purchase our products on that site.
Yeah. Here's another one here. Do you believe you will be able to keep your prices as competitive once you start shipping to Alberta and BC by keeping your margins in check?
Absolutely, that's the goal. We're trying to build a sustainable business, so just making sure that we have healthy gross margins. We're growing on volume. We're passing the cost down to the consumers. Consumers, purchase our products so that volume is sustainable and creates an overall sustainable business for everyone. We're in Ontario. Pricing was very similar to our Quebec strategy. We would just launching in Ontario. Our pricing strategy is very aligned with what we offer in Quebec. So Alberta, I do not see any difference in being able to offer the same prices that we do in Ontario and BC and Quebec. And as we scale up, we get more economies of scale. We're able to benefit from that and just grow more and make sure that we keep our costs down and just premium products to consumers.
Yep. And then Valleyfield, how long before it's fully operational? You said you got a 2-year plan right now at the moment?
Yeah, it's 2 years. So,
yeah. So will Cannara continue to open a room per month? I think we've answered that one.
Yeah.
After Cannara has opened all the rooms in Valleyfield, what will be the projected revenues at full capacity?
Yeah, so I think in our deck, we announced that we have potential of growing up to 125,000 kilos per year.
Yeah.
So you can do the math on, I think our average selling price is anywhere between $350 and $580 a gram.
Perfect. Nick, I think you should get rid of the sleeves/flowers over the Cannara name in your background display. I love your brands and products. Thanks.
I kind of like it. Okay.
Well,
consider that one.
Yeah, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, I guess. Quickies is a good example. They managed to generate a lot.
I think that question was regarding the apparel and clothing and accessories, which is something that our brands are definitely going to build. Just like this jacket, and this is a purple one. Yeah, so we love this stuff. We're just making sure, again, we don't want to launch anything rush to market, making sure that I can source the best quality clothing, the best possible price, creating the best possible distribution network to distribute this clothing and accessories and products, just like the Yocan. And I'm working on another battery project that I think is going to blow people's minds. And just the merch, the swag that we want. That's just all in the plans. And again, it's just time to do it right.
Yeah. So we got one here. I personally don't feel content with the share price.
I'm sorry, Justin.
Yeah, I mentioned this before, right? If we take a look at MSOS, the ETF, this tracks all of the U.S. major exchanges. It's down over 80% in about a year and a half. And we're talking about an ETF that tracks all of the major American operators. And if we take a look at Love from the same time period, it's only down about 48%, and it's an individual stock. So it's not an ETF. Usually it'd be the other way around. The ETFs are supposed to be down 40%, and individual stocks are supposed to be down 80%, right? But I would argue that Cannara's share price is actually holding up a lot better than most. But yeah, like I said, share price doesn't matter what cannabis company it is right now. They're all feeling the wrath of the bear market. With all these new hemp derivatives, HHC, THCO, THCP, why not grow a dominant CBD strain and market to the US via e-commerce? It would bring a lot of revenue. Thanks for the question, Seth.
Yeah, so we grow one CBD strain, and it's for Canada. You can grow in Canada and sell to the US, so that's not something we'd have to establish a US operation to grow the hemp derivatives. And there's a lot of players in the market, and it takes away from what's currently on our strategy and our what's pretty much handed to us in a silver platter in the market and the kind of market conditions and what we're doing. And so we prefer, and we learned from the first movers here in this industry. It's just stay focused, have a plan, execute the plan, make a new plan, execute that one, and just build upon that.
Yeah, not get too big too quickly, and focus on your priorities, right?
Yeah, because we're in cannabis, right? It's not in a lot of older, mature industries. You can pay for consulting help, right? You can hire people with experience and expertise that will help you get to your objectives. And you have definitely, they can get you, they cannot get you, but in cannabis, that chance of getting to success with just relying on other people, and is a lot harder. So why we are deploying a focused strategy is because we need, it needs to have both my Zohar's and my time and attention in all aspects of the business, right? So if we're start moving to a US and figure that, then someone else has to run this business and create these brands and run that, and it might not be the same, right? So create the formulation, create the process, build out the plan, like I said, execute the plan, and then once the plan is executed, that can then start becoming a mature business and run and just keep in, and then have more innovations and teams that already know the formulation. But when you're building a core business in an industry that's speculative, it requires full time and attention from the people that are building it.
100%. Just received my battery and vape cart, and I'm very impressed with the packaging. Great job, Nico and team.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Run through these a little quicker here as we wrap up. We're at an hour. So the box for the vape cart is great. I like that you can carry more than one cart in it. Now that is convenient.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't want one problem with the industry is, packaging that's getting thrown out, or, you end up with all kinds of packaging that you have to just destroy. So, that's, any box that I open, same thing with our rosins, it comes in a reusable jar that, you don't have to just rip off paper and just throw it out, and then you're just left with this little jar that has no branding on it, no name. Just something that you can keep and you can stack, you can collect, so same thing with our little yellow jars, our tuna cans, that vape case is reusable. Our pre-roll tubes are metal, they don't smell, so you can just keep using them to hold your pre-rolls in them. And the one, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know, one aspect that we're really working hard on is our cans are amazing for freshness. I mean, I opened a can the other day that was harvested in end of 2020, so 2 years, and it had the terps and the flavor that it originally had in the tuna can, which was amazing. So the tuna can is representative for me of the legacy market and the premium quality, so that's why we chose it. But one problem that we did notice is that once you open the can, it lasts about 3-4 days, so you'd have to consume it or transfer it to a mason jar, which is something that that's not acceptable for us. And so we're working really, really hard to figure out, and we're close to it, is to figure out a reusable lid so that they can actually become mason jars, and then across all our packaging, they're all reusable across travel.
Yeah, I come from a vape cart background, and I can tell you that the Travel G Mint cart is one of the top quality vape carts in the country, legacy included.
Thank you, Mendo J. Thank you, appreciate you.
Tabbing on some Power Sherb hash rosin.
Ooh, that was our second drop in Ontario.
Nice. How long will the vapes last?
To consume, or like in market forever, hopefully, and last, I mean, as fast as you can smoke it.
Shelf life. Well, you can't keep anything on the shelf anyway, so I don't think shelf. I think he's talking about the actual vape. My store just put in order for 6 boxes. Awesome. Thanks,
Boardwalk Brad.
Showcase / attending Hall of Flowers exposure.
We're going to set this one out. We did the kind event in Ontario back, I think it was July, which we had a blast. I think all our consumers and partners had a blast with what activation we did. It was one of the first in the countries of that kind of event, and we went all out on that one, and we want to get bigger and better and make those parties bigger and better. So we're going to choose our events, and again, we're a lean team. We're trying to build it right. We don't have to go to every event and spend every single marketing dollar. We want to make sure that anything that we spend has ROI. So that one we're gonna sit. It's the first one coming to Canada, so we're gonna see it, evaluate it, and then maybe decide as next time.
Cool. Some more good feedback. Thank you. Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. Thanks for all your questions. Where's the best place to order the battery / carts?
So September 16th will be all across Ontario, both retailers, ocs.ca. If not, we can pick them up on, if you're a medical patient, medical license, www.mendo.cannabis.ca.
Excellent. Great stream. Be tuning in. Appreciate that. Power Sherb smells very nice. Looks pretty good too. All right, gonna wrap it up there. Anything else you wanted to say before we wrap things up, Nick?
I just want to thank you for hosting me. Thank you for your time, Rod. Thanks everyone for joining and listening to what I have to say, and hope I answered your questions. And I'm very, very, very reachable. Anyone that has questions, investors, consumers, Nick at Cannara.ca, and it'd be my pleasure to answer any of your questions.
Totally. Oh, I appreciate it. The pleasure was all mine, and thanks for coming back on the show, and look forward to having you back on in the future when you've got some more developments to go over.
Cool, Rod. Have a good one. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks for joining us again on The Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with Power. Going to end it there. Have a great night, everybody.